You know, we live in an era of literally unprecedented distraction. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a classic philosophical text that basically forces us to look in the mirror. We're going to explore that intense friction between our modern societal norms and our deepest inner realities. We'll unpack the stories we tell ourselves just to stay comfortable, and we'll see exactly why the ultimate truths of the human condition absolutely refuse to be ignored, no matter how incredibly advanced our society gets.
Okay, let's kick things off with a phrase I guarantee you've heard, or maybe even used yourself. Times have changed, everyone is living like this. Think about how often we use that as a psychological shield. When we're totally overwhelmed by the relentless hustle of modern life, or maybe when we feel a little out of step with our own moral compass. What do? We point to the crowd. It's deeply ironic, really. We walk around with these supercomputers in our pockets, capable of accessing the sum of all human knowledge. And what do? We mostly just doom scroll so we don't have to sit alone with our own thoughts. We tell ourselves that because the era has shifted, the fundamental rules of human existence must have shifted too. But really, it's just an excuse designed entirely to comfort us. But we have to confront this question head-on. Does acting like the majority actually free us from responsibility? The source text we're unpacking today systematically dismantles this comfortable little illusion. It makes the case that just because a million people are walking in the wrong direction, or scrolling their realities away, it doesn't magically make that direction safe. The whole idea of safety in numbers is honestly one of our most powerful yet completely deceptive myths.
And that brings us to this absolutely brilliant core contrast. Sure, our habits, they evolve rapidly. Technology completely rewrites how we communicate every few years, and time itself just feels like it's moving faster than ever. But what never changes? Death. Separation. The ultimate endpoints of our earthly attachments remain entirely static. So our gadgets might get an annual upgrade, but our fundamental encounters with human mortality haven't changed one single bit since the dawn of time.
To truly get a grip on this human frailty, the text introduces the concept of accompany. This points directly to our fundamental inherent limitation. No matter how much control we think we have over our perfectly optimized schedules, our careers, or our smart homes, we are fragile. A microscopic virus can literally shut down the global economy. A sudden storm can plunge an entire hyper-connected city into total darkness. Acknowledging accompany isn't pessimistic at all. It's a grounding, absolutely crucial reality check about our actual place in the grand scheme of the universe. Right alongside that physical frailty is the concept of Fokker. Think of this as a state of constant existential neediness. We don't just need basic oxygen, water, and food. We require love, purpose, meaning, and connection just to survive. The text reminds us that no matter how technologically advanced or incredibly wealthy a society becomes, this inherent neediness never, ever goes away. We are perpetually dependent beings, no matter how many productivity apps we download to manage our lives. Which leads us to a second major defense mechanism. The source material directly tackles the ultimate appeal to the average, saying, hey, I'm just like everyone else. The text points out that leaning on the crowd is, at best, a temporary and fragile crutch. The crowd is fickle. The crowd is easily distracted. And most importantly, the crowd absolutely cannot save you from the individual realities of your own life and your own eventual departure from it. Think of life like a giant road trip with different companions. Your friends, your family, society at large, they can ride shotgun with you for a very long time. They celebrate your wins, they comfort your losses. But, and here is the stark reality the text points out, their companionship has a hard stop at the literal door of the grave. At that threshold, the crowd fades away. You cannot bring everyone else with you. You face that reality entirely alone.
Now, because you are fundamentally alone at that final threshold, it can obviously feel terrifying. But the text actually pivots right here to offer a profound comfort. It urges you, do not think you are left to wander aimlessly. You are not some random cosmic accident dropped onto a floating rock. The philosophy we are unpacking suggests that the universe actually functions like a highly purposeful guesthouse, and you are a distinguished guest within it.
So how do we know this? Well, the text asks us to simply observe the world around us. If you look closely, with just a bit of wisdom, absolutely nothing is random. From the incredibly complex biology of a tiny fern to the instincts of migrating birds, all the way up to massive global ecosystems, everything operates within a staggering, precise order. And the logic is pretty clear. If the universe operates with such meticulous purpose, the life of a conscious human being cannot be random either. But what happens when that incredible order seems to violently break down? This brings us to a highly sensitive point in the text regarding massive natural events, like earthquakes.
When catastrophic things happen, it is so easy for the human mind to view them as blind, chaotic tragedies. However, rather than just writing them off as random geological accidents, the text challenges us to look deeper, though, I should add, it does so with immense care.
Actually, before looking for any deeper meaning in a disaster, the text lays down an absolute, unshakable rule. Pain is not minimized, losses are not simplified. This philosophy explicitly honors human suffering. It never, ever tells a grieving person that their loss doesn't matter. It acknowledges the devastating reality of earthly heartbreak fully and completely before ever attempting to understand the broader mechanics of the universe.
That being said, the text explains that through the lens of faith, these catastrophic events aren't just meaningless voids. Instead, we're meant to read them through these hidden dimensions. There is divine wisdom behind the timing of events. They can serve as a profound warning against human hubris. The physical losses suffered are actually viewed as a form of spiritual charity for the victims, and ultimately, in the eternal scope of existence, they're enveloped in a much broader mercy. It's a beautifully multi-layered way of processing immense tragedy.
Okay, bringing this right back down to our daily routines, the text challenges us to do a quick self-audit. Which distraction are you leaning on right now? Are you telling yourself, oh, everyone is doing it? Do you procrastinate your own personal growth by saying, I still have time? Or do you just brush off deep reflection with, now is not the time? These are the comforting lies we tell to delay our own accountability.
So what does this all mean? The ultimate takeaway is this: eras are going to shift, empires will rise and fall. We've gone from the invention of the wheel to artificial intelligence, but one thing remains absolutely constant. The fundamental trajectory of the human soul returning to its creator is an unchanging reality. It is literally the single fixed coordinate in a universe of constant motion. And eventually we must all strip away the noise of the modern world and face it.
Which leaves us with one unavoidable, frankly, deeply personal question to sit with in the silence of our own minds. We've seen how fragile our modern excuses really are. We've seen that the crowd absolutely cannot protect us from the ultimate realities of our existence. So based on everything we've just unpacked today, which excuse will you finally drop?